Good morning. Hello, hello. Welcome to episode 4 of Sundays Are for Contemplation.
Hello, hello.
I'm your host, Soph.
And I'm Nicole.
And today we are going to talk about what is socially acceptable at the dinner table or not.
Well, I guess in the context of social media is what you're saying. Well, what is our dinner table? Our dinner table is I guess, just social interactions.
Yeah.
You can tell today is a cozy day. We're ready for Christmas break to relax and chill, but we're getting into it.
Yeah. I think this is post burnout, already having gotten a little bit sick. I think everyone in our friend group is sick.
Yeah, and also yesterday Friday.
That was yesterday.
Yeah, that was yesterday. I forget we're filming Sunday or Saturday, but whatever. And just doing a Twitter space that ended up being 3 hours where we just yapped, even though I don't know, we knew we had to do it today again. So, but we'll find stuff. We never shut up. We always have things to talk about.
We really do. I had an idea for today's episode also about being sort of like the difference between a corporate and casual environment, because recently what I've been experiencing is this sort of, I think it's like imposter syndrome kind of, where when I'm at my day job, I can go into the office, I'm dressed super corporate, surrounded by all these people who are like, I don't know, kind of dressed for that 9 to 5 lifestyle, very serious. And then I go to an art expo or we're on the space, and then everyone just is so casual, and like people make a living off of this like space that we're in right now, the digital art community. But for me, everyone that I've met has just been so authentic and genuine, and they're not wearing that sort of like corporate mask.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess in the art world, their mask is their creativity. Sometimes I feel like, well, I don't know, like we talk a lot about digital footprints and just like how we're trying to like come across, and if it's like a very, again, I think there is a corporate aspect to like social media and
Hmm.
like a very, I mean, yeah, like LinkedIn stuff like that, that's a bit more professional, but even like how we want this account to be, although we want it to be very accessible and easy to talk to. I think we also have a sort of like professional academia, and I don't know, it's just something we're kind of experimenting with, especially for me because I'm not, well, especially in the next, like I never got it. I never, well, I did not download X until I was like 20, so very recently. For me, it was just like the digital footprint thing just kind of freaked me out. Like, just your opinions being out there for everyone to listen to. I guess it was just like, is this really how I want to be perceived, or is this even something that I'm going to, I don't know, like, if something that I think about today, how I feel now, well, it's going to obviously change with time. And so I just basically I don't want it to bite me in the ass.
Yeah, no, I get that. I think it's also just like being traumatized by cancel culture in our generation. Like, you, I don't know, could have posted something that was a random opinion and someone will find a way to complain about it. And I also think for me, kind of something that freaks me out about social media is um I always questioning people's intentions when they're posting. And I saw this thing the other day about how like when you're a kid and you have the desire to be famous, I don't know if you've ever like realized a lot of kids like desire to be like a famous singer, famous actress, and apparently the psychological explanation behind that is that your like family or your parents didn't love you enough. So you crave external validation. And I wonder if for a lot of people who are posting all the time on social media, they crave that external validation because they're not like validated enough in their like real lives or something to that sort. And that thought has just been kind of like circulating around my head
Well,
recently.
I mean, I don't think.
I'm not saying that I'm assigning judgment to anyone who's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
posting,
No, no, no. But I'm
but
saying I think it's different. Like if you're posting things with the intent of getting like famous or like profiting off of it, then maybe there is that kind of aspect. But I
I
feel like
mean,
most people just are. It's the same in real life. Like
yeah.
you're just looking for a connection.
No, but I mean like a subconscious thing. Like I don't mean
Oh,
it like whether or not people are actually intending to get famous. I think a lot of people want to post just because the things that they're posting have value in
yeah.
sharing it. But I just also like it's something that I'm like really like how much does that subconscious like desire drive certain people to share certain things?
Well, I feel like everyone is definitely influenced by that subconscious. Everyone wants validation. So I think the difference for me is, I mean, I definitely do like validation and other aspects, but I guess like I just never got behind. Like I'm a person that like I'll like things or I'll send them to my
Mm-hmm.
friends, but I'm never gonna comment unless it's like someone that I like know in person very well. I think I mean I don't know. There's so many bots out there, and then just like I just never know who's behind the other side. So I think that just kind of always like freaks me out a bit because
Yeah.
again, like this like authenticness, it's like who is who and like who am I talking to, and like this is all public. There could be like repercussions if I say something that's like mean or taken wrong. And I mean, I don't know, even in like personal life, I like struggle if I don't see a person like this, it like sometimes I feel like the way that like social media has like changed things, we haven't adapted to seeing the other person behind the screen. And like I see that in me as well because even if I get like text messages from like friends, I feel like they're very like when I text people, it's very like transactional or like situational or like, let's hang out Thursday. Okay. But when it comes to like very emotional things, I like struggle to text people or like I remember to be like, hey, like how's your day going or how are you doing? Like even with my parents, and like I live on the other side of the world because my parents are, and like they'll text me and I'll be like, hey, but I just, I struggle to see the person behind the screen. And I remember my first year of university, my phone got stolen, and it was like the best month of my life because I did not have to respond to like in like my head,
I
which
remember
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, like it's such a bad thing, but I was just in my head, I was like so happy. I was like, oh my god, I don't have to respond to these texts where I have to like pretend to care. Like it's not that I don't care, but it just again like this, my brain just doesn't see things the same way because it hasn't been trained to, and I feel like no one has explained to me how to see those
I don't.
people like
Wait, I
as
don't know what
humans.
you're saying.
Like
Like you're saying, like the online connections, like you're not, you can't view them as meaningful as in person ones,
yeah,
perhaps.
kind of, but to that extent. But I feel like it's because I haven't been trained to think that hey, like these are human beings, even though you're not seeing them physically. Like they're still people with feelings. It's the same thing. It's just I don't know.
I mean, I get what you're saying. I just think it's, in my experience, it's always been like a 50-50 thing because, in the sense that, like, 50% of people that I know and am friends with in real life act the same way that you do with like their texting and stuff. Like, they just can't necessarily form those genuine connections over chat, or like they just won't attach themselves emotionally to that.
Hmm.
But then I'm on the other hand, I'm on the other 50% where I'm just like, for me, like, I can bond over a virtual like connection. You know what I mean? Like FaceTiming or texting a lot.
Yeah, no, and you have friends all over the world, and I always see you on calls, and I'm like, who are these people? And you're like, oh, I'm just saying my friend that's hiding in New York, and she called me, or like, oh, my friend's in Florida, and
Mm-hmm.
like honestly, like when we're not together and you like call me and text me, like I like feel the difference. I'm like, oh wow, like she really cares about me, and I'm like, this is amazing. And so like I understand the importance, but like for whatever reason, my brain just like struggles, and it's something that I have to change. And I think it's something I don't know. People have to come to realize. Well, going into like what we're planning with some of our events and some of the I don't want to say social experiments that we're trying out with, but yeah, like this, remembering that or creating like a new social etiquette within social media where we remember that these are actual people and we have to like reprogram our
Well,
brains.
I don't even think it's about remembering that these are actual people, because I think that we know that, but it's just, I think, instilling
But we're
in
still like
within ourselves.
desensitized to it.
Because the thing is, I just want to disagree with you because I'm of the opposite, where I'm like, I like know that these are real people. I don't need to remind myself of that, but it's just like I want to get to know who it is behind
Well, to that,
the
yes, but
post.
I again disagree with like what you're saying. But like, yes, like I'm aware that there are people there, and I don't know. I find I like to think that I'm a compassionate person and I will understand if someone texts me and writes me and they're like, hey, I'm going through a rough time. But the impact is so different than like being face to face and seeing their expressions and their live reactions to what you're saying. And I feel like that is like, I don't know. I just think like when I see like people comment like really mean things to others, I'm like, if you were in front of this, I mean, if you're really pissed off, like you'll say things, but like if you were in front of this person, like, would you still be able to say the exact same thing to their face?
I'm curious though, like, what do you mean by like a mean comment that you've like seen?
I mean, I don't know. Just like I mean, there's so many mean comments out there. I guess maybe we'll just say like critiquing someone, like maybe a celebrity's like physical appearance or something
Right.
like that, and being like, oh wow, like she just like I mean, celebrities are kind of okay. But let's not say celebrities because that's another anomaly. But maybe
Anomaly.
I don't know, like I've seen like I think like won't get me canceled.
Yeah. Okay, I could just all right. Let's just say like whatever. We all know an example of a mean comment that we've seen online.
Yeah, about like a person that they didn't deserve to hear that, and obviously it might like impact them.
Yeah.
And I just wonder, like, would you be able to like say the same thing in person, head on?
Yeah, I think. Well, here's the thing. I think a lot of people can say it in person, but maybe just not to their face.
And I think that's such a
And that's yeah. That's
intense
like
thing.
that's maybe what social media is that the person who's it's directed to can always like come back and see who it is who's doing that. But yeah, I don't think we should be afraid of our digital footprint per se because I don't think we're gonna say anything crazy or you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so either. I think we're pretty moderate people. We have crazy ideas, but they're not. Yeah, I don't think they ever come from like a hateful place, and I hope people
Well,
know that about us.
I think this is also all tied to like a fear of being seen, kind of like you know what I mean? Like you have to really put yourself out there and risk a lot of cringiness, a lot of embarrassment when you're first starting something out. And like when you put yourself on social media or anywhere where you have a platform, like that fear of being seen, that vulnerability is something that I think all of us have gone through at one point in our lives, whether or not we were really little or older or something. I think it's just like it's a skill, it's a practice,
Yeah.
and like the more that you realize that you can just say whatever and put yourself out there and people will resonate with it, find it funny, etc. Like that's how I think you get over it. And I think when you realize that what you're saying also has value, even if it doesn't have value, even if you're shit posting, like I say some random things sometimes, and it's just like for me, it's like una carga. Like I can just take it off my chest, and it's just like whatever. Like we're all in a floating rock.
Yeah, but I mean, I totally understand that for like personal accounts and like I don't know if you're talking to just your friends or close friends, like they're all post like
Mm-hmm.
stupid stuff and like actually give my opinion. But when it's like a public, like anyone can see it, and I think especially for us right now, where we're
Well,
trying to like debate, yeah, like find the line between like the professional corporate like social media and like the not, and then well even we see like a lot of the what's the word, like a lot of companies even on social media now even make like jokes or just to
yeah,
kind of appeal to like Gen Z. So now like even it's not even as formal.
exactly. Like it's more casual, but
Everything's very it's more personalized.
I get what you're saying about how it's like appealing to like the corporate social codes, like I think it's a little daunting. But that's the thing with social media. We see that our generation or other people like respond better to when there's sarcasm involved and like it's more at the end of the day like we're all people transmitting these things. Like we don't need to be bots who are like super academic and you're allowed to make mistakes. It's normal and like I don't know. I think you can promote more interaction by just you can be more casual about it.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, of course. It's something I'll be working on, and if you guys see me posting on Twitter, be kind because I don't know how to use it very well. But it's something that I'm working on. Like up until now, like you and Mariano have taken charge of like our X account, and you're doing an amazing job. But I need to get better at it. It's like those kind of skills that you realize you got to work on, and it's not impossible.
I think you could do it. It's just also there's I think like a method. Like when we're posting on like the account, for example, like there's a very easy like I don't want to say structure because I do post from like a more like authentic perspective, but it's still like the structure that you follow is easy. Like good morning and good night posts, and then you like just kind of explain what you're doing, and it's like you know what I mean. Like
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it. Like I
yeah.
understand how it works, and I read it, but yeah, I mean, we'll see. Whatever. Well, it's not important. I'll figure it out. But I did want to change topics and go. So later today, we're going to be announcing something. So by the time you guys see this, it's already going to be out. And we wanted to talk about well, this crazy idea that I had. And then I was like, hey guys, like, would this be cool? And then people were like, oh my God, like, this is actually great. And makes me feel, again, this like validation. I was like, okay, I'm not an idiot. Like, I'm not crazy. But like, anyways. So we know the holidays are coming up, and sometimes that can be a very lonely time for some people. And again, like to this topic of social media and like, I don't want to say what its like purpose is or like what, but more of like what it enables. And I think it can create a community, and it does create a community. And so this is where I'm getting into like the social experiment aspect of it. So we are going to be hosting a 24-hour holiday, like,
special.
yeah, holiday special party, what you want to call it, marathon. And we really just want to bring people together that are like-minded, and I guess maybe they might be lonely in the holidays, or maybe they just want to chat, or I guess, I mean, we have a lot of little events planned, kind of,
Yeah.
is what we're planning to do, like maybe like an hour or two of like, okay, like maybe do like a little workshop, or we're also going to be announcing like the pen pal, like, I guess, like space that we're going to be hosting, and we're going to have like a little concert. We have some friends that volunteered to do a little Christmas concert for us, and we're very excited about it. And I think like we really just want to make this event for you guys, and kind of to the social experiment aspect that I was talking about. We want to, again, like with social media, like my fears is that sometimes it can be very negative and people are very mean and not supportive. But with the people that we know in this industry, everyone is helping each other out, and it's really amazing. And we kind of want to keep fostering this. So, yeah, so we want to create this event so that like-minded people can come together and basically change the social etiquette that we see on social media, where it's very, well, I don't know, just, I don't know if you want to comment to anything like that.
No, just, like, I would say, like, just going with what you're saying, like, it's very hard to, I think, create community events when you're just posting all the time, and it's like there is that slight distance. But we want to sort of change the tides a little bit, and like actually make it a more normal practice that, like, okay, like we can actually have like a 24-hour like community like event, and everyone belongs to the community, and it's just like about diminishing the barrier to access that maybe a lot of people feel like if they're on, for example, yesterday on the space that we were hosting, Glass Crown was talking about how she's in the Dakotas, and how she's like one of the only NFT artists that's in the Dakotas. And it's like exactly like why we want to have these like virtual events and like meet and greets with like our pen pals and like workshops, is that so for people who are the only person in like a very large geographical region, they can still connect with the community online and like meet people before we have our other in-person events as well, like the exhibitions and everything like that, I think.
Yeah, and to like go back to this whole building a community. Again, there are communities on social media, but we want this to be something that, again, like at least for me, I mean, like you said, for you it's easier to see the people behind the technology, I guess. And I mean, but for others that we kind of struggle with that, like me, I think it's like a really great way to kind of start changing like the norms around how we interact with those online, and actually building genuine connections with these people, and not just like, oh, like this is cool, or like very transactional, as like I feel like for me it has been. And I feel like this is something that a lot of people do need in society. I mean, I don't know, I think you're an anomaly, so with this, because I feel like a lot of people that I don't know, just what I've observed.
I think there's a lot, maybe there's a large majority of people who are like you, but I think it also stems from me, like I think just growing up I always went to social media to like have a sense of connection with like the world and everything that I think I didn't get in like my day-to-day life, having lived in the suburbs or whatever it was. I just like wasn't entertained by like things in my real proximity. I think when I went online and I personally searched for those connections, I found a lot of other people who were acting the same way. And just I think growing up too, like now having moved around to so many countries, a lot of my long-term friendships, like we've maintained them because we text all the time and like we do this. And it's like for me, it's not really out of sight, out of mind when I'm like go home for the holidays and then I don't think about texting a person for 2 weeks. It's like you run across my head, I'll text you, I reach out to you, like to me that's always been like a form of connection. And I'm not saying that any other way is different or bad, it's just I recognize that that's a way that I've sort of been raised, like online, and I know that there are a lot of people too that have kind of gravitated towards social media to create this. And it's like I think that's why having a planned event, we allow people who maybe have my sort of personality and your personality to come together, and like it still
Yeah.
becomes a more real solid like.
Well, yeah, like it has the opportunity for people to like have intellectual conversations and exchange these kind of ideas, and think of, again, better ways to incorporate this like new social etiquette that we want
Yeah,
on social media.
honestly I think we're That pretty much sums up everything. Computer battery is about to die.
Well, I guess our next next like podcast, I'm going to be in Mexico City and you're going to be in Qatar, so it's going to be interesting what we have. And well, besides the 24-hour holiday special, we have other fun events coming up later on in the new year, and very excited. So I guess wait and hope.
Wait, no. We're already a
Yeah.
week into December, I think.
It's gonna be okay. A little bit about this 24-hour special. I know it's gonna be a shit show. I mean, me and Sinbad we just decided we're just gonna have bottles of wine. We're just gonna stay up all 24 hours. But bear with us because we know how we're gonna do it. But of course, we're a starting foundation, so we don't have all the amazing resources to make. So who knows what could happen?
I'm excited to see it.
I'm excited to
fun.
just
It'll
the
be
planning of it
sustained by I think everyone who's
by the
just,
community. Yeah,
yeah.
it's going to be a very, again, not a very corporate event at all. It's going to be
not a very corporate Christmas.
not a very corporate Christmas party.
Yeah.
But
This was a funny episode because I feel like this is genuinely us, like unscripted, like borderline arguing with each other. So
daily conversations. I mean,
yeah.
But see how we are open to each other's ideas and critiques. And honestly, yeah, you changed my perspective a bit. Like I didn't think about it. Like I always see social media like in my like very negative lens and just how like other media portrays it. And
Yeah.
with all like I guess, just especially in our generation with all the mental health crisis, and like, guess I'm not saying like correlation is not causation, but obviously like with social media there has been more, or I don't know. I feel like people might feel more isolated. I guess it's up to the individual. We can't generalize, and I think I don't know.
I think so long as we're moving in the right direction as a group, that's what matters.
Yeah,
because everyone's individual approach can vary.
Yeah, the conversations are what's important.
Yeah.
Because my ideas just changed. I'm going to be better at being more active on social media and texting my friends when I'm in Christmas.
Alrighty, well.
Have a good rest of your Sunday with your... Well, yeah, I'll be watching this Sunday.
Yep.
And
love you all.
And love you, Mariano.
Love you, Mariano. Goodbye.
Thank you, Mariano. Please and thank you, Mariano.